Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Be carefree lately, yeah. Just kicking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Count 'em like the four-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
The silence fades into the night. Coyotes sing at the moonlight. These open highways are calling our name, and now it's time for us to escape. Feel the wind touch our face. Let's take a spin to a foreign place. These open highways are calling our name, and now it's time for us to escape. Escape to a world we don't know. Escape into the great unknown. Escape to a world we don't know. Escape into the great unknown. Escape, let's escape. you close through the night. I won't let go until the sunrise. These open highways are calling our name, and now it's time for us to escape. Wave goodbye to your city life, and say hello to the desert sky. These open highways are calling our name, and now it's time for us to escape. Escape to a world we don't know. Escape into the great unknown. Escape to a world we don't know. Escape into the great unknown. Let's escape.
5 seconds remaining.
Let's escape.
OG's turn to ban. Dire team ban. OG's turn to ban. Dire team ban. OG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for the lower bracket playoffs, or essentially one game for the final. It is MLP Dota, joined by John X Fire. John, OG versus NIP. What a matchup we have in store for us for the first series of the night. Of course, I do have to ask you, John, how the hell are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling really pumped up, Mike. Of course, we have been watching NIP for the most part a lot, and you know, they got knocked down here from their matchup against Alliance, unfortunately enough, but they do still have one more opportunity to, right before nabbing that last slot for the EU qualifier. So, should be a pretty important match for both teams, Mike, and, you know, they're not going to pull any stops here.
Certainly not. They already go for the first pick, Nature's Prophet, which we saw PPD on yesterday, and he just makes so much work happen on this hero. It's OG. They won't mess around either. Straight into the Troll Warlord, and the thing with that Troll is, John, we both know Anna and Thompson both enjoy playing this hero. I believe it was yesterday we saw Thompson playing the mid Troll, so it's a bit of mind games already from OG as to where this Troll is going to be laning.
Definitely so. It's a really safe pickup for them. They have a lot of flexibility in that hero, and they really just work it for the most they can. It's something they always fall back to, and are very comfy with picking it up in the first phase. So we're not going to be seeing that Magnus Troll come out here. NIP did ban that up earlier, but there's so many more you can really fit into that Troll. One big one is, of course, that Oracle to keep him alive for a very long time, and that is still in the pool, so OG could just pick it up here.
Certainly could. Does seem like a nice pick to make right now, and no, they'll go for the Abaddon instead. Another one of the supports we've seen over and over again throughout this meta, and it's been very effective. It's just very annoying to deal with in lane, annoying to deal throughout the mid to late game because you can't kill him, and if you do kill him, you have to spend a lot of time and resources to get the job done. Though, like you said, the Oracle is still available if either team wants to pick it up, but it looks like neither will because they already do have their POS 5.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, you could still slot it in, of course. The Abaddon could probably take a higher position. The NP could be a bit greedier as well, but It's not something we see often, and that's also not something we see too often. Of course, the Drow not being banned out means NIP can pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, there was that one day throughout the group stages where everyone was just leaving Drow unbanned and nobody was picking it anyway. This time around, though, in a match that has so much on the line, of course,
10 seconds
can't
remaining.
afford to just leave that hero alone. NIP will go ahead and snag it for
5
themselves.
seconds remaining.
But we do have a couple more ban outs before we get to see where these two drafts are headed. Now, of course, for anyone that isn't aware, been living under a rock, John, the loser of this match unfortunately will just be kicked out completely. And as you mentioned before, they'll be versing Alliance in the finals tonight. Alliance as well. I mean, we can have a quick chat about them because they are just sitting in the finals waiting. But man, they've really come out of nowhere. Like when we started casting them throughout line number 2 of the groups, wouldn't have assumed they would be sitting in the finals and actually put up a really, really good fight up against Liquid yesterday as well. But there they are, just out of nowhere. Obviously, they've been practicing a lot. They've come back, and there's a high possibility that even if OG or NIP do go through to that finals, Alliance could create the upset that everyone's kind of hoping for.
Yeah, it's really a surprising ride for them. They've managed to work that qualifier quite well, and they knocked down NIP to face off against Liquid. Now, sadly getting knocked down by Liquid, but still having that one last shot. These guys, at least in Alliance side, have played for a long time together, with a shuffle here and there, but they've stuck at it, and it's definitely paying off. No one expected them to get this far, right? And the field as crowded as EU. Alliance managing to come back up is pretty darn good for them.
10 seconds remaining.
Speaking of not expecting them to get too far, I mean, Liquid as well, who have already qualified to the Major, but they were in a position where they were basically kicked out, and then it turns out we had a 3-way tiebreaker go on, to which they actually made it through that tiebreaker, and then proceeded to just dominate their way through the playoffs to the Major. Just completely out of nowhere again. These Majors, or these qualifiers, have been pretty crazy this time around. Nevertheless, one more ban to go from OG before we get to see where these two teams are headed with their drafts. Of course, we did see the Centaur ban coming out from NIP, as well as that Winter Wyvern.
10 seconds remaining.
Gee, they've got rid of the OD on their end of thing.
5 seconds remaining.
Seems like they are.
Sand King is still in the pool. Like,
is still in the
you
pool.
ban out the Shaker. You ban out Magnus, but the Sand King is still in the pool, so it looks like perhaps that's something NIP is looking to jump into. I mean, they banned out the Shaker first, and, it's something they do run every now and again on 33, so it's a possibility for NIP. At the same time, OG does have first pick in the next phase.
OG's turn to
Haven't seen it yet throughout these groups and throughout the qualifiers altogether. We haven't had the pleasure. I don't think it'll be picked up this draft, but you never really know, and I am holding out for that because it is a real treat to watch. OG though, 3rd pick for them. Do they go for a pos 4 right now? Do they go ahead and pick up a core? You'd imagine they'd just go for the position 4 with this 3rd pick, but you never really know. Of course, if they did want to pick up that position 4, the Shaman is available, and it's definitely not recommended to give that away to NIP as well. In conjunction with that Drow, that would be pretty disastrous. They've got to make a choice here.
Definitely would be. Again, we have seen that hero do so much work as well, and added attack speed from the Drow, that's just really chaotic to deal with. They do go with the Earth Spirit, so it's going to be a bit more explosive for OG's end, Mike.
He is, and of course, Jarak Earth Spirit, something to behold. Fantastic player, hero. I mean, it is one of his real main signatures. NIP though, how do they respond to this? That Earth Spirit is a real nice hero against this NIP draft as well, because naturally Earth Spirit is one of those heroes that can really easily close the distance on that Drow. Just really distract her throughout these engagements. Try to do as much damage as you can. Make sure she can't right-click your cores down throughout those 5v5s. He, however, about a minute of reserve time left for them. Specific heroes you want to see, like just not that you're predicting they're going to pick up, but just something you really want to see out of either side.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many options for them. What I'd really like to see, maybe something like the Tiny would have been great. Yeah, and there it is. It's a nice little explosive here to have. We haven't actually seen it too much. Like, it comes in and out on the draft. Sometimes we see a lot of Tiny. Other days, we just don't see here too much. And today is a Tiny day. It does work out into the draft. Like, you definitely want something that can pump that aggression early on, start working and bursting down heroes quite fast. The Tiny enables you to do that, and it opens up the space for an offlaner that kind of needs a blink. Of course, the Centaur is banned out, but all the big heroes that need something to gap close to get that initiation on, Tiny kind of simplifies that.
Certainly does. Still fairly standard here from NIP. Nothing too surprising yet. OG, their 4th pick now. Start seeing some cores coming out of this side. Of course, Hobson still waiting for his hero, unless he is on the troll. We are also waiting for Seb to have. And Seb's a very interesting character in that sense, where he always plays something very, very different. Something out of meta that you wouldn't really expect. Not this time around, however. He will go very safe with the Bat Rider. That's fair enough. I mean, they did need more catch for that Drow Ranger. Even the Nature's Prophet. It just makes perfect sense to go ahead and pick that up.
Yeah, it's a response we've seen to the Drow every single time now. Just that Bat Rider coming out gives you a lot of control, of course. Once you get that jump in the Drow, it's very easy to pull them back. And in this case, you don't really have anything to stop that from happening. Perhaps a tiny toss and avalanche could stop that lasso from taking someone back, but you're not always guaranteed to have that support right next to you, for the toss at least. So you're probably going to need something else if you're NIP to stop that lasso coming out. Otherwise, OG has set themselves up quite well to get the jump in this Drow Ranger.
Well, it goes back to that Oracle pick, right? Like, the Oracle would have been great up against that Bat Rider, but the problem is it just doesn't look like it's going to fit at all in an IP draft, unless they're planning to run a core Tiny, but even then, usually it's PPD on the Nature's Prophet. They will go ahead straight into the Tidehunter, and I guess that's one way you could stop the lasso is when they do go for it, just jump in and throw out a Ravage. That can just stop it in its tracks, although you generally want to try and catch a few more than just a Bat Rider with that. Still, draft's looking pretty interesting as it stands right now. John, do you see something that you want to talk about?
I mean, you know, just bringing in that Tidehunter for NIP, along with that Tiny, kind of simplifies your initiation. You're not going to be relying too much on a blink timing for the Tide. You're going to have that effective initiation straight off the bat, as long as Tiny does manage to get that toss off of you. And that should make these 5v5s much more easy for NIP to pull off. We have seen that before as well, where the initiator just doesn't get the blink fast enough, mainly on something like the Magnus. You know, we've seen a lot of games where the Magnus support just doesn't get a great blink timing, is kind of forced to pull subpar RPs. This time around, not going to be that case for the Tidehunter. He has some ways of gap closing thanks to that Tiny, so it's a safe pickup from NIP and really ties up their draft quite nicely. You definitely wanted something that could force a team fight out quite well. You have nice burst damage with that Tiny. You have decent right-click damage with a Drow and NP, and of course, pretty decent push as well overall. But you still didn't really have anything to bring that team fight in, and the Tidehunter does clean that up for them.
Certainly does. NIP using the rest of their reserve time for this final ban, and it will be the TA. They do assume it's going to be an Anna Troll coming out, and a Mirana pops out from NIP now. I mean, it's nice to see the hero, and we did see this yesterday. In conjunction with the Drow, it does do a lot of work. We talked about the leap attack speed bonus not being as effective as it used to be, but with the Drow, that problem is really non-existent. And there's a Monkey King coming out for OG now. Two very entertaining drafts, John. Anna, he will be on the troll, so it will be the mid Hobson Monkey King. How do you feel about it overall? Who do you think came out on top with this one?
I'm gonna have to say I kind of like OG's draft a bit more. Sure, you have pretty great team fight from NIP, and you have the whole Drow strat working quite well with Fatos Mirana and PPD's Nature's Prophet taking huge advantage of that, but overall OG's lineup looks like something they usually are comfy with running with. It's something that they have full confidence in, and they've gotten comfort picks on all their heroes, really, so it's not going to be too hard for them to play around what NIP has. I'm sure they are kind of ready for that Drow strat, and overall, just it's not as reliant on these big cooldowns. For NIP, of course, you're going to be relying on that Ravage for the team fights. Whenever that's not up, you're not really going to be forcing a 5v5, which may slow down the push a bit, again, because OG, if they just bring their heroes to bear, you're not going to be able to contest it as NIP unless you have that Ravage.
Very fair point. In both teams, the drafts, though I do agree with you that OG does look maybe a tiny bit stronger, but the thing is, it can really go either way. Drow, a very scary hero to be up against, but they have so many ways to close the distance. Still, we'll also have to keep an eye on see how Fada does on that Mirana. He had a pretty nice performance the other day, if I do remember correctly, but of course up against OG in a best of 3 elimination match. In terms of stopping OG from farming, though, I mean, you look over to Ana on that troll. As it stands, I don't really see any way of shutting him down or even shutting Thompson down at the moment. I mean, they may definitely focus. Yes.
It's not as aggressive as you'd want coming out from NIP. Their supports are. I mean, you do have that global presence, and the Tiny does do a lot of damage, but they're not the most mobile. The NP definitely is, but the Tiny does need to kind of sneak his way around to be effective. So it remains to be seen just how far they commit to find these early kills on OG to slow down that troll and the Monkey King. It could be a bit of a hard task for us. Again, they just aren't the fastest heroes. Like, you can bring the NP into the lane. The Tiny's going to have to spend his time away from other lanes in that case and really spend a lot of time walking. So Saksa might get a big EXP hit if they do opt to roam quite a bit. But that could be worthwhile. We have seen both Ana and Thompson really set the pace for OG, so shutting them down early will slow down OG immensely.
Speaking of shutting them down early, John, OG, they've smoked up. They do find 33. Now, that's a very hard target to go on, but they are going to roll in immediately from Jerax. 33. How does he get himself out of this one? He only just walks himself out. Jerax, though, he had the Orb of Venom. There's the slow again. He's falling rather low, 33. No help coming in, but the miscoil will be there from No Tail. First Blood will go to the way of OG. Nobody from the side of NIP was in position to help 33 out. Let him go.
Yeah, that's a nice injection already going the way of OG. Of course, does help out the Abaddon because he's not going to be finding too much farm in the lane anyway, so he gets to buy himself a little bit more regen later on, just with that 1 kill, and should help sustain this top lane a bit.
Definitely should. Of course, 2 banner runes for each team. Nothing too special going on there. 33 will be taking that safe lane as the Tide Hunter. Looks like Jerax will stick around for the moment up at that top lane as well as the Earth Spirit. Of course, we do have Thompson Monkey King in the off lane, it seems, and Seb is actually going to be taking the mid lane for the moment as the Bat Rider up against Fada's Mirana and No Tail. Pulling the creep wave in a rather interesting way, but put it back. PPD and Saksa. Oh, they're going for No Tail right now. This could be another early pick-off here from the side of NIP. Though, no, the Avalanche! Saksa!
Normally.
Oh, no. That is not a good start.
Definitely not. I mean, if you got that kill on No Tail, it would have been pretty nice. Even then, it's a support Abaddon. He really doesn't mind dying, and whenever you don't land that stun, you drop him low. As long as he has that miscoil, it's going to be a very easy deny. So, really optimistic chase. Once you miss that stun, it's just not going to happen.
Well, NIP not going to run the aggressive tri lane. They are going to move PPD up to top. Saksa will stick around with Ace, however, on that Drow. Try to ensure he is safe up against that Ana lane. Of course, the Abaddon. Meanwhile, Thompson in a bit of trouble top lane, though. Jerax will roll in. Ensure he's okay. Got that mid lane as well as Seb. Again, going to be up against Fada on that Mirana. Been a while since we've seen a Mirana versus Batrider mid lane, but does seem to work out, though. I feel like NIP is probably going to win out in this lane in the end. I realize it's very hard to win against the Batrider, but at least with the Mirana, you have the ability to leap away if he does want to go in with the Firefly, as well as the sticky napalm stacks. 33. Yeah, rolled on Jerax. Nice body blocks up at the top lane. PPD is still there. Now a kickback as well. 33 going to be stuck in the tree line for the moment, though. Thompson, he does not want to borrow that. He'll just leave him be. 33 will go ahead and TP out safely. Meanwhile, Saksa,
Yeah, that's a
bot lane, going to be in a lot of trouble. Anna's still being healed up as well. Saksa, he'll go for the salve, but the axes did actually connect, which cancelled the salve off. He's going to go and try and hide behind a tree, though. He is trapped now. Anna finds him, and this should be a kill, though he's still running. It will not be enough. That'll give OG 2 kills to the 0 of NIP.
Yeah, again, it's a good start for OG overall. They're finding that really good momentum, which their lineup really does allow.
John 33, he's in trouble. Hobson ends up finding him. Nice mischief dodge on the anchor smash, and I apologize for interrupting, but these two teams apparently are planning to be very aggressive today.
This is really what you want to see from both sides, though. It definitely benefits OG a bit more. You do want to see that support duo from NIP really start to pump out the aggression. It's something you should really expect as well. Again, with the NP's global presence with burst potential from Tiny, you have a lot you could work with, but they just can't commit those resources with just how much OG is pushing in.
Anna will get thrown into a tier 1 tower down at the bot lane, but a Phonic Shield will be there, and now the blocks from Saksa, though. Anna still looking pretty darn good. Ace slowing him down with the Frost Arrows. He's falling low, but again, No Tail's still there with the miscalls. Another toss there from Saksa, and Ace does find the kill. Gold is split, but regardless, that was an important one, and that was very aggressive of Anna. He just kept moving forward, dishing out that harassment towards Ace, but eventually Saksa found the position to just toss him in twice.
Yeah, you gotta respect that Tiny. You can't overextend too far, especially when the creep wave is moving in again into that T1, because you will be tossed back. So Anna does overextend just a bit and is punished for his misstep.
Hobson. Post call with the arrow there, 33 though. Crowd of Gush as well. Farda will join in. A lot of lane swaps going on early on. Meanwhile, Ace looks like he's in trouble. Jerax, he came down bot and will find a kill onto that Drow Ranger. Oh, Thompson just going to continue chasing 33, not worrying about farm priority whatsoever. Seb actually tipping him while he's doing this. And I suppose the both position 3s are essentially getting nothing right now, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, this Tide Hunter is not going to have a good time. He's going to have to rotate into the jungle at some point to find his farm. Just really slow down by this Monkey King, and that's really good work from Thompson. You don't want the Tide to find that fast level 6, to find the fast aura items, the sustain items that his team needs. Without it, he's just kind of a liability. The Tide doesn't do too much if he can't keep his team alive.
Looks like Saksa is going to end up going down bot lane, though he does have some pretty nice jukes going. In fact, he goes down towards the south, just sidestepping Anna and No Tail, still making a run for it. Now Banneran's being picked up, but Saksa still alive. Looks like he is going to go into the T1, though still surviving right now. The axes do connect again. He has mangoed up, and now the Avalanche. Meanwhile, Seb ends up finding Ace on the Drow Ranger. Saksa really is going to get away from this. He does TP out safely. I cannot believe that.
I mean, that's some really good juking in the trees. He does get clipped here and now by a few spells, but doesn't really get spotted out and maintain that gap enough to get that run going. So good on him for wasting a significant amount of time from OG. But at the same time, you know, we're not seeing the Drow in lane anymore. Ace, of course, is not having a great time despite that, and he is going to have to find some space somewhere because you don't want the Drow too far behind.
Mid lane, Avalanche toss is there, and he's completely surrounded. There's no chance of survival with that, and it looks like they might go for a mid-tier 1 push already. Of course, just back on your previous comment, John, of course, Ace did end up falling while Saksa was being chased. Seb and Jerax who took care of that Drow Ranger. But with this push, I mean, the fortification came out pretty early on, which does mean they can't go any further here for NIP, but they are looking really push quite fast. So Seb, be able to spot out PPD here. Does have the lasso if he wants to commit it, and he will just find the kill with the first lasso of the game. Why the hell not? They will go ahead and pick that one up for the side of OG.
NIP is really giving a lot away to OG. That rotation down mid to get that slight push going cost them a lot in EXP and farm. And while everything happens, you know, you have Ana left down that bot lane. OG sure are kind of scattered around, but they find the kills on your course anyway. So this laning phase really a bit wonky for NIP this time around.
Going for something cheeky mid lane. Looks like he wants to try and make a play on Thompson, though he does find No Tail instead. Ace is there on the Drow, but it won't lead to anything, and just does seem like NIP is very desperate for that tier 1 mid. again.
It
grouping
is a
up.
pretty key target.
It does make sense, John, but OG is defending it very, very well. In fact, it looks like they're having no troubles with just No-Tail and Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, they committed a lot of resources early on to try to get that push, but doesn't really pay off. Now they just back off. They do swap Ace into there, and he's having a bit of a better time.
PPD gets caught out on the Prophet. Now Seb's here as well. The rotations, although nice TP, looks like he will be able to get away. Now Saxa will be the target. Even better if they can find the Tiny, though. The neutrals do not agree with OG. They will stun them up. Saxa, he had the Moonlight Shadow anyway. And looks like he's actually going to go back in here. Maybe trying to snipe off No-Tail if he can. No-Tail gets tossed up, and he will get it. Saxa with the surprise play. It does pay off.
Yeah, that's a lot of patience from Saxa to find that kill, but he's not in the safe yet.
Oh, it looks like he might go down though. Nice avalanche and TP though. Roll is there from Jerax. The tips immediately onto Saxa. He will end up losing his life, and there are the voice spams. Though mind you, while they were doing that, NIP, they do go ahead and claim a tier 1 top tower. I don't think they're going to mind too much about that Saxa death.
Yeah, it's not the biggest deal. Again, you are just killing off the pause 4. And you do manage to take a tier 1 in exchange. That's a bit of a better win for NIP. Much more gold going around all the heroes so far. And a little bit more map control as well. So Fata making the most out of all this disarray from this match so far.
So they are going to make a play here onto No-Tail, though. It is a bit of a bait. Jerax, he'll jump in, and Thompson, he's going to Primal Spring in as well. Straight onto PPD, though. There's the Ravage coming out from 33. Now the TP from PPD. It will not be there. The lasso was committed just in case. 33 now trying to TP out, but the roll comes in from Jerax. They're going to find 2 for their trouble, and they did force out the Ravage committal as well from the side of NIP.
Yeah, it's again, just a bit of a punish coming out from OG for that overextension from NIP. The first Ravage of the game, not really doing too much for NIP, at the very least, buying that retreat for Fata, but again, not the ideal situation to use that Ravage, and it's not going to be up for next minute 40 seconds.
OG certainly looking pretty nice this early stage of the game. Jerax, thinking about going for a flank. Saxa, but Saxa will get out of the mid lane. While bot lane, Seb has rotated in and they want to apply some pressure onto Ace. In fact, they are going to dive tier 1s. There will be some rotations coming in, but Ace is basically dead at this point. He misses the Gust as well. Parta rotates in with PPD. Can they even find the Bat Rider though? PPD actually in trouble. Fata, he might fall. In fact, no, he won't. Anna, he won't be there in time though. Jerax will roll in. Boulder Smash will not connect. That was a close call though. Avalanche will be there as well from Saxa, though PPD still being chased down, and Seb does find him. Another 2 kills for the Radiant side. OG, they just look unstoppable right now.
They definitely do. They're finding everything they want on the map and are really just applying the pressure everywhere. We haven't seen Ace this shut down in a while. In fact, I think it was almost like yesterday's game against Alliance. And he's still having pressure on him.
Yeah, he TP's back in mid and they try to take him out straight away though. Seb, he has the Firefly, he'll be alright. He's even going back in after Ace, though he will just TP out right in front of him and knows Ace cannot actually cancel that at all. Still a 3k net worth lead now for the side of OG. Ace has literally hardly any farm to speak of. I mean, 2.7k is absolutely nothing. Of course, Anna, on the opposite end of things, has almost double the amount of net worth, though they are going to try and go for a gank on him, but PPD, he may have to pay with his life for this. He gets chased down, and Seb is there with the Firefly. Looks like Anna is going to be left to finish him off, and now the lasso onto Fata. That Mirana, not going to be long for this world. Another 2 kills for the side of OG, and it looks like they found more. In fact, they did. They found Ace in the jungle, just trying to farm up safely. He goes for the deny, though. The flame break will actually knock back all the ancients, and that will secure another kill on Seb. Looks like Thompson, though, will lose his life top lane, but again, OG probably not going to care about that too much.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you lose your mid for that, but you get so much more from that exchange. And once more, NIP is just not finding any sort of ground in this game so far. All they really managed to do is take that tier 1 up top and maybe kill Thompson and a couple of other heroes every now and again, but they lack severe amounts of farm on all of your heroes. Just looking at the top 3, it's OG. All of that is evenly distributed amongst all heroes as well.
Oh,
so it's not a great sign.
Boulder Smash will connect. Looks like he is going to get his way through the tree line. Seb does not have Lasso, even if he wants to commit it anyway, so 33 should be okay. I can't say the same thing for that tier 1 mid tower, though. Even if the side of NIP do want to defend, it just doesn't feel like they have what it takes right now. They need a bit more net worth up, and Ravage is not available anyway. I think they're just going to have to let it go down.
Yeah, I don't see a defense coming out from NIP here as well, although they are TPing in Soxa. Looks like they want to bring some forces to bear, but the tools aren't there. Sure, I don't think 33 is going to die here. All you really have up front right now is Seb without the lasso and Jerax, but, you know, there is no real way for the cores to catch up as well. So 33 should be safe. This tower is definitely gone. No defense coming out once again. At the very least, you don't have Thompson there, so the full 5v5 isn't going to break out for OG, unless Thompson just spends the next minute really running up. I'm not sure if he'll still find anything, so more than likely just take the tower, pull back, or maybe explore the jungle a bit, but I don't see the tier 2s being threatened at 12 minutes in. It's a bit too soon for OG, but you never know. These guys have been on a massive roll so far.
How long do you think NIP needs to hold out here to really push themselves back into this game? Because the way everything's going, like OG, they're feeling confident enough already to just 5-man push down towers together, which they can. Again, the 4k net worth lead probably about to be 5k just after this tier 1 tower. How long do NIP need to sit there and try to farm up? Can they even do that with this tier 1 going down?
The space is shrinking for them, and you know, you're really going to have to buy a lot of space for Ace to grow big. I don't think you can really rely on the Drow at this point, because OG has just definitely shut Ace down. Even now, as he's trying to farm up, he's still stuck at 2.9k, and not a great sign. At this point, you're going to have to rely on Fata setting the tempo. So you're going to look at Fata, wait for the Ravage cooldown on 33, and try to force something out, like trying to find a single kill at this point, and just keep doing that over and over again. Every single time the Ravage and Moonlight Shadow is up, you just force that rotation. Otherwise, you hold your ground, protect Ace for as long as you can, and kind of play around those cooldowns. I think that's the safest way for NIP to try to come back in. Of course, you can also try split pushing with PPD. He's going to be able to do that a bit better as soon as he gets a few levels, of course, but should be trying to push in those lanes. They did successfully take out that tier 1 up top. If they could take out that tier 1 down bot as well, that does give them a little room to farm in. Like that bottom jungle opens up just a bit more for them to sneak into for some farm. That's a possibility for NIP as well.
How is it in 2019, John, Windows 10 is still ruining Dota game? Apparently, a crash is happening because Windows 10, I'm assuming, because the PC is updating, decided to update, probably restarted the PC on its own. As it does, 2019, this problem still occurs.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying to deal with. Of course, there are ways to turn that off, but sometimes...
Oh, that's hilarious. He actually is right, though, it looks like. NIP, yeah.
Oh
My. LGD's somewhere right now just understanding NIP. They get it.
Why mute? That's one of the things, right? That's one way to shut out the psychological factor coming out from these voice line usage. Does take a little bit away.
In pro games, you shouldn't be able to mute. I think it's part of the game. I'm not being completely serious here, John. Obviously, we're not going to start, trying to protest or anything, but we're back into the game, thankfully. Tier 1 tower, of course, is going to end up going down. And we'll go ahead and clear that one up on the troll. OG, of course. Well, I said they were going to back off, but it looks like they are ready to go again. Jerax trying to set up. He's going to go for a roll straight onto Ace. He found the Drow Ranger. Look at the damage he's dealing right now to Ace as well. Almost takes him out by himself. The Magnetize might actually tick him out, though Jerax's going to get taken down here surely by NIP. Arrow will not connect. He's going to go for a TP. Surely not. He does not make it out, but he does find Ace.
I mean, that's the massive kill you want. That's really the target that they want. And it comes down to that beautiful deep ward they planted earlier on in that jungle, giving the vision they needed to find Ace. And again, nowhere is safe for Ace to farm. He is still at 3k. Last time we checked 2.9. Now 3k. Not a good sign for a Drow. You put so much on this Drow to buff up your entire team, to deal the damage. And we're 13 minutes in, and he's not finding the farm.
And OG's not planning to stop either. Already looking for another target up at the top lane, and they don't find one, but that just means they'll go straight for that tier 1 tower. And again, NIP probably not going to be in a real position here to defend. 33 still needs about 25 seconds for the Ravage anyway. And another tier 1 tower going to be secured for OG. They will fortify at the very least to delay things just a bit. But with that tier 1 mid and the tier 1 top going down, that dire jungle is completely open now to the side of OG to just control.
It definitely is, and they're not even giving up their tier 1 down bot. They go for the defense.
They found Fada with the lasso. Thompson's there as well. They'll get the leap off. Their Primal Spring and Boundless Strike comes out. Now the Flame Break as well, though. 33 going to try and help. Wukong's command being thrown out. 33, what can he do here? Looks like he just wants to escape with his team. Arrow will fly out as well, but won't connect. Still, I guess it's a positive trade for NIP, right? You got the lasso out. You got everyone out safely.
Yeah, they expend the lasso from OG's end, they expend Wukong's command, and, you know, they don't find any kill for that, so that's probably the first time NIP is probably really happy with that exchange. At the same time, they were going for that tier 1 down bot. They don't find it. They're pushed out. They do get Ace a bit more time to farm, and again, at the very least, his jungle is kind of free from pressure for now.
Thompson. Looks like they found somebody farther though. We'll go ahead and Moonlight Shadow up. There is a so no, he will run out of range. No tell though. They get an arrow off straight up to the top lane on Ana. Now the Ravage as well. They'll burst him down before he can commit the battle trance. And now No Tell going to be chased down as well. In fact, he just gets body blocked up. He doesn't have borrowed time yet. End up losing his life. Two very nice picks there for the side of NIP. Actually, a very nice gold influx for them as well.
Yeah, that's what you want to start seeing from NIP, just finding these pickoffs that you can take. And the more of that they get, the more they will bounce back, because that's a massive amount of gold coming from those 2 kills.
They're trying to jump onto Fada right now. Fada standing in the fire of Seb. The lasso did just come off cooldown, and Fada needs to just get the hell out, though the leap not really on the cliff, but it won't matter. He does TP out in time. Meanwhile, Thompson looks like he went down bot to defend up against those treants of PPD. Just slightly slow down. Like Ace is really just trying to farm up a Yasha to escalate his farm a bit, but again, it's just been so hard. You see immediately the pings coming out onto Ace. They know whereabouts he's probably is. The lasso in the mid lane. They have found PPD, and they'll burst him down fairly quickly.
Yeah, and again, just OG not hesitating to pop these big ults to find pickoffs on any single target. They're starting to invade that jungle again. Ace is pulling out. He does understand what was going on, so PPD copying that gank to save his carry is pretty alright. It's a trade you will take as NIP. You are going to lose heroes either way. Might as well be your support rather than your core.
Well, more bad news for the Dire side. Ana, he has the full Battle Fury up now on the Troll. Pretty decent timing considering he did spend a lot of time fighting with his team rather than going for the farm. NIP, I don't see how they even try to defend this. Avalanche will come out, and Seb jumps straight in. Doesn't have the lasso available, but still does a lot of damage with that Firefly. Now 33 going to be chased down, though. No, they'll leave him be. They'll get Saxa first. A nice gust comes out of Ace. Can they find at least 1 kill? Boundless Strike Thompson, he wants to turn around. Nice Wukong's command as well. Ace, he's copping so much damage and he's gone. 33 as well, though they'll just leave him be. Jerax trying to find another target. He gets his ass off onto Fada, but now the Sprout comes out as well as the arrow. They at least find 1 kill. Thompson just trying to escape safely. Looks like they are trying to find Seb, though Seb in that Moonlight Shadow fact, Saksa will go for the avalanche toss. 33 will be there with the gush, and looks like they will be able to find the kill, so some pretty nice punishment coming out from NIP. Looks like OG perhaps getting slightly greedy with that, and they do lose 3 heroes on their end.
Yeah, that's definitely a big win for NIP, and again, those kills does give them a significant gold injection as well. They did have to buy back on Saksa, but definitely worthwhile in the end as they get a bit more from those trades. Not the best thing to again lose Ace. Guys just really had a hard time, but they do get some punishment out, and they delay that push again, so pretty worthwhile for NIP. Still not the best trade. You still want to see better for these guys, but it's just not happening. OG is not giving them too much to work with.
At the very least, the net worth lead for OG does remain at 3k, so it hasn't skyrocketed as we would have expected earlier on. Vada has got the full diffusal blade up now as well on the Mirana, so a bit more damage coming out for him as well as control. Saksa might get caught out here by Seb. He does throw out the avalanche preemptively, and Seb, he does have a blink dagger available, but it's just a tiny kill. They won't mind too much, just leaving him be. Bot lane, looks like there will be a tier 1 push going on. No one here from the side of OG to try and defend this because they are currently actually in the Roshan pit. Very sneaky Rosh indeed, though there was a lot of observer wards there. Scout this out. It's a matter of whether they actually know on the side of NIP. Didn't quite see if they used a smoke for this. It looks like they probably have, because NIP are not making their move to the Roche pit quite yet. Just gonna hang around mid. 33 seems to know what's going on. Boundless Strike though came out. Now the Sprout as well. They do jump in with the Ravage. Aegis has been picked up by 33. What a pickup as well. Thompson losing a lot of HP. The Gust is there on all heroes from the side of NIP. Anna copying a lot of damage. Now the Wukong's Commando comes out. The lasso as well from Thompson. It's gonna take down Ace and well, OG. They're pushing it back all the way. The Boundless Strike is there. Barda gonna get taken down as well. Sarks is trying to make a run for it. They've already lost 3, however. The only man to walk out is the Tide Hunter. A nice avalanche there, but it won't matter in the end.
Not so fast.
And yeah, I mean, NIP stealing that Aegis was a pretty darn good move. Just popping that Ravage right then, getting the phase boots off, managing to walk in and just snag it. But not worthwhile when you lose your entire team except the Tide Hunter. And again, it's just not a good trade for NIP. Sure, you deny that Aegis, but you lost your entire team. You're gonna lose your tier 2 down mid. And the map just continues to shrink for NIP. This is not what you want to see coming out from a Drow strat with the NP. You kind of expect much more pressure on the towers coming out from NIP, but again, no space for them to do that.
I mean, the thing with that Aegis though, you can't actually just allow the side of OG to have it as well. Because if they did grab that Aegis, that probably would have meant at least 1 Rax. And I agree with you that it's still not a great trade losing 4 heroes for the sake of stealing it, but it's like they really had no option in that one. OG again, just gonna smoke up and try to get aggressive now.
That was under a ward though, so NIP does know something's gonna be up. And they do stay all the way back through tier 4s.
In terms of defense, the best chances they have are going to be on that high ground, so they might be stuck there for a bit of time. So again, OG not really backing off too much this game. And he started pushing out the bot lane as well. Has got the full
Smoke under
Archer up now.
Smoke under ward again for NIP as well.
Oh no. They jump straight in. Barda though gets Boundless Strike, and there's the Wukong's command. Barda should be dead, and he is. No buyback available in him, and Seb trying to look for more. He did commit the lasso already, but he won't mind for that Mirana kill. She's basically almost the most farmed person on NIP, apart from 33 on that Tide Hunter. Avalanche will come out. And just going to focus that tier 3 down. The fortification is also there. They might be able to hold out long enough for that respawn, though. They're going to lose at least the tier 3. Surely. And actually copying a lot of damage now. They are slowing him down with those frost arrows, though. Boulder Smash will be there as well from Jerax. He'll jump in with the Magnetize, and Anna will be able to get out safely, though Jerax not so much. He gets tossed mid-roll. Will end up losing his life, and now NIP understand they can punish hard for this. So 33 trying to chase for more. Looks like there will be a deny there from Notel, so no gold there for the side of the Dire. Anna would be a great pickup here if they could find it. There's the perch from the diffusal. Now the arrow will not end up connecting. The toss back onto PPD though, that's probably not the greatest idea. PPD though, with the Moonlight Shadow, will be okay. Saksa gets dusted up, but the Shrine is going to heal him up. Anna does get denied by a neutral creep throughout all this to make matters worse for NIP. How does that even happen?
That's just highly unfortunate. He had the urn on him, right? They had all the heroes attacking him, and he still dies to neutral. That's just not ideal for NAP, but that's almost like a reflection of how this game is going so far. It's just not going their way.
And speaking of OG, they jump in with the lasso mid lane. They go straight onto that Tiny, and well, Saksa cannot survive that damage. Now Primal Spring Boundless Strike does not connect from Thompson. And again, it's just kind of like you said, every time they get a bit of an advantage, it just seems to go away. Really unfortunate set of events here for NIP. PPD just doing his best to split push while he can, just delay the game out as long as he possibly can for Ace. Ace is slowly but surely getting there on the Drow, but just needs more time. Anna, though, at the same time, hasn't slowed down on the Troll either. Like, he is farming pretty darn well right now. Gonna have that BKB up relatively soon. Goes straight into the Satanic after that. Well as that Thompson already has the Maelstrom up as well on the Monkey, as well as that Echo Saber. Very close to the BKB now.
Yeah, and once those key items come out for OG, you're going to have a hard time getting any sort of control onto them. Nothing is going to pierce that. Except maybe if you manage to sprout someone down, but even then, that sprout's not going to be the biggest deal. And once more, OG does smoke up. I believe that was under the same ward that NIP had down mid.
See if they can catch anyone out regardless. There are two down bottom. Yeah, Seb's found him. Barter, he'll get lassoed up. Wukong's command from Thompson as well, though. Can they hold him down? It looks like they probably can. Thompson will end up picking that kill up for himself. Bit unfortunate, right? You just mentioned the smoke was under a ward, but OG, they're just so quick to find these picks. Now, Jerax will roll forward. Looks like they wanted to find the backlines, but they'll go straight after the Tide instead. Do they have the control for this man? No Shrine available there for NIP. Boundless Strike will not connect. Bit unfortunate that the Flame Break knocked him to the left side. Jerax will not connect the roll, but will get the Boulder Smash. Now Ace going to try and help out, but the Primal Spring is there from Thompson. They don't have Wukong's command, mind you. Sarks are also going to be there, and now a nice gust, and there's the Ravage. It connects on every single person, though is it even going to matter? They've lost Thompson on the side of OG, though Ace being rolled on again and gets kicked back. Magnetize will tick him out, but they do find Anna on the Troll. That's already a massive win here for the side of NIP, and Jerax, he'll TP out. Barter, though, is looking for another target. Looks like he will give up on that, but they find the Troll, they find the Monkey King. I mean, you couldn't have asked for better kills on the side of the Dire.
Yeah, those are massive kills going the way of NIP. That was a buyback from Fata, though. So, and they lose their courier, and they still lose Ace. Not the most ideal trade, but oh.
They'll try and find No-Tell, but Borrowed Time will be there, and we'll just keep him alive. Here too will end up going down here on the top lane, and look, I mean, they're not the perfect trades, John, but this is the best that they can get right now. I'm almost impressed that they're finding these.
I mean, that was definitely a very good kill to get, a good set of kills to get, and that does bring them way back in.
Jerax saw the TP on the Shrine. He doesn't have Magnetize, so he might not go for this by himself. It's still a very dangerous kill to go for on your own, but done it before this game. Does have a Spirit Vessel charge as well, though Saksa is looping around. Looks like Ace will be alright in the end.
Yeah, it would have been a really tricky kill to go for. Even with that Spirit Vessel, you're right next to a Shrine. So he does have an option for regen. And TP points for his team to respond to, so would have been a very optimistic go at it if they did commit.
Anna. Careful to get caught off guard here. Saksa, meanwhile, getting jumped by Jerax. Roll in as well. The Magnetize ticking down quite fast with that Spirit Vessel, though. Here comes PPD. He does get the sprout off, but again, the roll will just go through those trees. Can he get himself out? Saxa, he won't get the avalanche off in time, though now they've trapped him in place. Nice kick back from Jerax, just delaying all this time off the side of NIP, but PPD will eventually find him. But while he was doing that, the side of OG are going ahead and pushing that top tier 2 in now. And even though they lost Jerax, if they find this tier 2, it's going to be more than worth it for them.
Definitely will be. And looks like Seb is just on PPD once more.
Yeah, they'll find him. 33 is TPing and they want to go for this fight. Ravage is available, though Thompson does have the Wukong's command, and Ace now jumps in as well, but the BKB comes out. Thompson just jumping straight on that Drow. There will be a Hurricane Pike out of there. Gus will not connect either. Thompson, he finds him. So you lose PPD. You lose Ace. How do you defend this high ground now without the Drow buyback?
It's going to be rough, but you do have that Ravage up on NIP side. You have the Heaven's Halberd as well for Ana, so you have options here.
Arrow. Go through everybody. Ana, gonna go ahead and take the tier 3 tower. Looks like OG probably gonna be okay with just that. Of course, the shrine is there to be taken as well. Roshan will be up in 5 seconds to boot. It's just perfect timing once again from OG. Take the shrine, you find the Roshan. What more could you ask for? Oh, PPD. Jerax finds him, has her on the second, and will find it in time. That was an optimistic TP to go for PPD. He might have thought he had a second to get it off. Jerax looks like he's going to go ahead and pick up another kill on this Nature's Prophet.
I mean, how often do you see the Earth Spirits get these solo pickoffs? So often. Jerax has definitely done a lot of work in this game, just buying so much space and denying a lot of farm from the side of NIP, and that does open up the Roach to be freely taken for OG.
This is what happens though when you have a Jerax Earth Spirit come out. They are going to jump him now. Avalanche Toss will be there, and this should mean a kill in the end. Gush to slow him down as well, and he's got no way out of that one though. OG are wrapping around with the smoke. Seb looking for the lasso, and he found Ace. Of all people to find, he finds Ace straight away. They'll burst him down immediately. Now, the side of NIP don't want to borrow this, so they found 33 as well. No Tail, he's going to move in, though. Balance Strike will not connect from Thompson. But how do you get out here if you're the Tide? The answer is you probably don't. He'll just waste as much time as possible. Light Shadow? Won't be enough. Meanwhile, PPD getting caught out again as well. Seb not going to continue the chase. Saxa still being chased here by Jerax and No-Tail. Seb going to cut him off. Flame Break is there as well. Saxa, I don't see him getting out of this one though. He is juking them around a bit, but just won't be enough. Another 3 heroes being lost for the Dire side.
Yeah, and again, just so much punishment coming out from OG. Despite losing Jerax earlier on, they buy back. They were in position behind to get that kill, and they get the kills they want. Now they're going to force out these tier 3s, and the defense is still there for NIP. They still have a Ravage up.
OG going to take the secondary tier 3 tower and go straight for that mid-racks. No buybacks coming out of NIP quite yet. PPD, he's going to keep pushing that bot lane while he can. But this is going to be perhaps 2 Raxes going down. 33 has the Ravage, but is it going to make that much of a difference in this team fight? Again, Lasso gets found for Ace, and Ace cannot survive the damage. 33 still holding on to that Ravage. The BKBs were there by OG. Buybacks come out. Saxa trying to find No-Tail, but even borrowed time there on him. He'll go down eventually. He's been left alone by his team, but they already got that mid-racks. They don't mind too much. They will TP back to the base now.
It's just hard for NIP to find those openings. Sure, they still have a Ravage. They still have a way to defend, but they don't have any way of 33 jumping in and getting it off really fast. Again, they are relying entirely on 33 to get that big initiation. They have the Blink and Saxa, but he just can't commit as much as well. So both forms of initiation from NIP just not being able to jump in before the BKBs are up and getting that catch that they desperately need.
Wow, just inching closer and closer now to that Satanic as well. It's going to make it that much harder to take the troll down. Ace still I mean, he's catching up slowly on that Drow, but it's still such a struggle. He's actually going to be forced to go for a Lincoln Sphere up against Seb's Batrider. Can't really blame him. Bot lane, they have found Mirana and Sparta. Can he leap away in time? Probably not, though. He does go for it, but Seb does find it in the end. Notel again, just spamming the tips out every single time.
Yeah, and again, it's just finding all these kills for OG's end. It's all these pivotal kills as well. That's a dieback on Fodder. Sure, he's going to have his buyback up again in around 29 seconds, but he's not going to have the money for the BKB if he does that. And, you know, it's starting to feel like we are approaching the last few bits of defense from NIP.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They've held on for a long time. They are going to smoke up on NIP's side. Tell. Sprout it up. Carter does have the buyback available now on the Mirana. So Anna just going to focus down that Rax. No problems for him. 33 going to jump in. He gets the Ravage off onto 4 heroes. Now Seb trying to make a run for it, and will do so successfully. They have spread it out Anna, though. He'll be fine, and now Thompson moving in. Has the Wukong's command and found 2 of them with the Boundless Strike. He'll take down 1 in Saksa and Ace as well. Both have no buyback available. Now PPD gets caught out. 33, he's trying to make a run for it. It looks like Jerax again finds Sparta on the Mirana. He leaps away, but the Ethereal Blade finds him from Thompson. That's good game. It's all over. NIP, they will lose game 1. OG find themselves 1 game away from getting to that lower bracket final.
Yeah, again, it's down to just how much NIP lets slide in for OG. They managed to give OG that first pick troll. And then in the second phase, they pick up that Earth Spirit as well. Just really all the comfort picks you
high. Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals